Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Contingency Plan Podcast. My name is Jedi Master David, and with me, as always, is Darth Austin.
Hello, everyone.
We are back, part 4 of Kenobi to talk about. That's the topic of the podcast. More Kenobi.
May the Force be with you.
So yeah, man. Shortest episode so far of the series.
Of like every series that's ever been put out.
You know, but I'll try and put you in mind. They do this though. They were like
very true.
They
I
were
think
like
we had
long,
this with Mando, to be honest.
Yeah. They're long and short episodes. I don't particularly know why. It kind of almost seems a bit like bad time management in a way.
Either that or they just don't want to force extra content into an episode that doesn't need it or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, when I look at like Strange New Worlds, which is out, the new Star Trek show, you know, those are long and they're all consistently long episodes. I don't remember if it's 47 or 50 something minutes, but like it's consistently almost an hour per episode. And we've had 55, 41, 47, and now 38 minutes so far with the Kenobi.
Yeah, which when you break down like intro and credits and everything, it's closer to almost
Recap.
like 34 maybe.
Yeah, very strange. But, you know,
Didn't seem short once you got into it, though, to be quite honest.
Yeah, agreed. And obviously, you know, we'll get into the actual episode as we go along, but might as well get her started with a little bit of how you doing? How's your week been?
I'm doing. How you doing?
Okay. I'm actually wondering if people can hear the tornado sirens through my mic from outside. I don't know if it's really that loud or not. See, this is how much of a professionals we are. We podcast while it's, you know, getting ready to destroy us outside.
Hey, some weeks we can't even be bothered to actually record, but when there's a storm, we'll suffer through it. We might die, but we will record. It won't get to you because we're dead, but we will have recorded it.
Yeah, isn't that wild? So anyway, how was your week?
Oh, not too bad. Not too bad. It's a finals week for a module, so it's been a busy one. I spent all yesterday on schoolwork and just long days at work in between, so not a whole lot to talk about, I guess.
Lame.
Yeah.
Super
Very.
lame.
Very.
Yeah, it's it's been a typical work week, you know. Typical kind of not much really going on so far either. Tomorrow, however, will be sort of a double feature. That's the word I was looking for. Double feature of the first Jurassic Park movie and then the new one. So I'll be going to that.
Oh, nice. Cool,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, apparently if we go, we get like a free NFT.
Ooh. Is that literally why you're going? I'm kidding.
No, not really. I mean, just, you know, decided to kind of go do something. And that's what we're doing.
Nice. That'll be fun.
That'll be a thing that we're doing.
Yeah, I guess in the theme of movies and TVs, it's literally the only thing I can really mention this week is we started Stranger Things 4, which has been pretty good so far. I don't know. Do you still watch Stranger Things? Did you ever get into that?
Haven't started it. I mean, I've watched obviously the prior seasons. I mean, I clearly know that one song is clearly in it because now everybody's using it. If I only could make a deal with God, get him to something. It's like, you know, the one that what was that band? There was a Placebo. They did a cover of it a long time ago. I don't remember. Kate Bush, I think, was the name of the she was Irish, I believe, or something like that.
I didn't know people were making a meme out of it. I haven't really seen many Stranger Things memes.
Well, it's not a meme. They're just using the song for like everything from like a TikTok dance to an Instagram story to like some random thing on like YouTube Shorts. It's everywhere.
That'd kind of be a weird song to dance to on TikTok.
It's 80s mania, man. They love it.
I guess.
They just love it to death, dude.
Saying out of all the 80s music that plays through Stranger Things, I would think you could pull something a little bit more upbeat and fun. But yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure it's a very pensive moment when that song starts playing. Probably somebody's died or is dying.
Yeah, I don't think it's played yet now that I think about it.
Okay, well then you don't even... I don't know if it's even in there.
Unless it played when I passed out the other night about halfway through the episode for 10 minutes. I don't know. That's
not good. I'm just saying, like, when that sort of stuff pops up while Stranger Things is out, clearly, and I didn't finish it, but they did have Millie Bobby Brown on Hot Ones, the Wing Show on YouTube. TheYouTube.com/Hot Ones. Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
You know, on a somewhat related note to that, I did try one of their hot sauces just for my YouTube stuff, and it was just the classic. To be honest, it wasn't very good.
Oh, really?
No, it wasn't very good at all. I didn't enjoy it at all. I mean, maybe their other ones are good, but it was just a classic with the blue label. I was like, this isn't anything.
Was special. It like at least spicy and just flavorless?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't spicy. It had flavor. I think. Okay, so I don't particularly like chunky hot sauces. You know, where they have.
I don't think anybody really does.
But there are a lot that do it, and I've had a couple that are okay. There was one that was sent to me, and I don't remember what it was, but it was like some sort of like beer related or like whiskey or something. It was something related to like a liquor of some sort. Mm-hmm. And that was pretty good, but it had little chunkies in it. But normally I'm not a big chunky hot sauce kind of guy. I just want it, hot sauce.
Chipotle's bad about that. It seems like if you don't properly process the pepper, like it gets super, I don't know, like they missed the stem or
seeds,
the tip of the pepper or seed or something. And
yeah, for sure. But anyway, yeah, so good talk, good weeks, good talk, good times.
Yeah, hot sauce and Stranger Things.
Yeah, Stranger Things. Okay. Yeah, well, then I guess it's time then, huh? Time Kenobi. To talk about the main thing here. So, part 4, we had left our story off on I don't remember the planet now. Random mining planet. And
that's how invested we are, guys.
That's
how invested we are.
It's not even that. I have trouble with remembering names of things. But we had a little bit with the Inquisitors, sending out the probes. We have Mole Man turning on people, and boy oh boy, did the entire world love to make allegories to Mole Man and the truckers and Nazi neighbors and all that stuff throughout the week.
I'm just missing out on all the good memes, I guess.
Makes you think about your neighbors turning on you. Or, you know what? It's just like those truckers, up in Canada supporting Trump, just trucking around. It's just like, I don't know. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if somebody, within Disney was trying to do social commentary because it happens. And I'm not necessarily saying that I hate that or something, even though it can be kind of lame. I didn't mind the mole guy, but boy, that was the talk, was mole guy.
Yeah. I guess I kind of took it more as like a very old supporter mentality, something like you would see in a movie about World War II, maybe.
Like a collaborator?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of the vibe I got from him.
Or even older, they're like loyalists, from like colonial time.
Yeah, right.
He's Benedict Arnold. That's who he is. I mean, I didn't really think about that when I watched it. I just thought about it as, look, there are some people that love like the Empire.
And we see that in books.
Yeah,
I mean, we see it in a lot of media.
I was trying to remember our character. She was in Rebels too. Oh boy, do you remember the character? She had the short black hair.
And she was
like a
Imperial supporter from like
she
a colony
was
planet.
She was just an Imperial.
Oh, okay.
She supported Thrawn. She was like I don't remember if she was a governor or. There's people that are yelling about that. It's starting to piss me off because I know we read about her in a book. And I think it might have been in Aftermath. And then, wow, this is lame. Why are we Price? Alindra Price, Governor Price.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
I was not thinking Price.
Orinda.
I was thinking someone way lower than Price.
No,
Okay.
yeah. She had the short black hair, but
Yeah.
she was like a regional governor, dealt with Tarkin and so forth. But she was a normal person living on Coruscant, and she was like anybody else. She just was a normal person, but then became a part of the Empire, and then was hardcore until her end. And it's not that she necessarily started off as a bad person, but kind of like our character Tala. Tala was, believed in the Empire. She even said it. She believed in it and then, moved away from it. Some people move away, some people stay. Mole Guy is on a mining planet. He probably doesn't have that much in the way of prospects. So the Empire and its order and its, opportunity, even though it's probably going to be drying up on this planet, more than likely is okay. But here's the other thing. When this planet is stripped dry, old mole dude, he's probably going to be expecting the Empire to like, hey, you got a place for me? It's like, no, we don't want you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And he hasn't seen any of the horrible things the Empire could do yet.
Maybe,
they probably haven't.
yeah.
More than likely haven't had any insurrections or any disciplinary action taken on any of the citizens. So he's only seen, a bunch of commerce coming through essentially.
Yeah, it's funny. It's just funny what people latch on to. And boy, I don't know about you, dude, but like there's a lot of complaining, still a lot of complaining about the series, and specifically in our last episode about how Vader couldn't put out the fire the second time, which we talked about.
Why couldn't you jump over the fire? Why couldn't you pull him back through the fire? Why couldn't you do this? Why couldn't you do that?
Well, think about it this way. Vader wants Kenobi to suffer.
Right.
And maybe this is like a way to make Kenobi suffer. Maybe he doesn't care to kill him now. He clearly wants to draw this out. So,
right.
And maybe there's even a part of Anakin in there still that's like, I don't really want to kill you. I just kind of want to make you suffer.
Want you to feel the pain that I felt.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's half of one, dozen of one, half a dozen of the other, or however that saying goes. But I don't know. Like, the only gripe that I had was lightsabers. For me,
oh my God, they're so bad in this episode.
they don't look particularly great. It looks like what they did, they got like the best prop saber with the best blade, prop blade that they could, and they chose not to computerize over it. You know what I mean? It's like give it some extra science-y substance, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, not even just the look of the saber, like the effects during combat. Specifically when he's like attacking stormtroopers, I didn't like. I thought it was overdone.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that as we get into it. But yeah, just as far as last episode, we had the confrontation with Vader. Leia encounters our third sister,
Reva,
and effectively that's kind of where we're at. I do know that a lot of the meme was, she'll never catch Leia. She can run away super duper fast and do force slides and stuff, except when she's running down a tunnel, apparently. So
I did think it was funny. I thought maybe we were the only people that commented on how ridiculous it kind of was, how she was evading everyone.
Oh, yeah.
But everyone jumped on that. That kind of made me happy.
Well, here's the thing. It wouldn't irritate me, or it wouldn't seem odd if they would have actually made her look Force augmented.
Yeah.
But the slide's a slide. It's not that impressive. And the weird evasion to stuff, it was more kooky than it was Force real, not realistic, but Force assisted. Mm-hmm. It just could have been different, could have been better. But again,
I think it would have been kind of cool if we had more persuasion. Like maybe she had convinced people to let her go instead of just being able to outrun them.
I personally think that would have been a little much, because the whole thing
so.
is that like Leia unconsciously has used the Force. She didn't really even know she had any affinity towards the Force until she met Luke. You know, and
I feel like you could have potentially tied in Jedi mind tricks to that, because she might not have realized she was persuading them, just trying to appeal to them in a way.
I see what you're going. I think it would have been too much. I just think it's a bit much for the character for now. But you know, is what
it's just kind of hard to really show any Force sensitivity, seeing as how we don't see it in A New Hope at all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
At that point, the way that you look at it is her powers haven't really been unlocked yet, so why would you ever see anything as a child?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, well, let's go ahead and get into our episode here on the Disney Plus. So
we actually have some visible damage from the burn, which I was kind of happy to see.
Yeah, even
because
though
it was super unrealistic.
Yeah, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense for him not to have had more burnt hair.
Right.
Just his arm. His hair's fine. Anybody who's ever been close to fire and have been singed at all, well, yeah, I mean, just knows that like hair is easily burnable. You don't even have to really touch the flame. So yeah, kind of gross. We get him in a Bacta tank. And interesting bit of story here where we have Obi-Wan in Bacta, and then we're also showing Anakin in Bacta as well, you know, still in the tank. And that actually was another thing I saw people kind of going on about is, why is Anakin 10 years after still in Bacta? Well, it's like he was really badly burned, dude. I mean, he was...
Bacta isn't a perfect cure-all instantaneously. Yeah. You still see Boba Fett in Bacta for months after his ordeal, and he was just in the sun for too long.
Well, he got stomach acided. Oh boy, yeah, there's some rain. Whoo, getting rained on over here, man.
Yeah, I wonder if you can hear it from my side. It is picking up a little bit.
It's all good. Just a little rain. I doubt that they can. I doubt that they can hear it. But anyway, and I won't cut it out either because I don't wanna. Give you some ASMR rain. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, you
fall asleep during the podcast.
Yeah, you like that. Yeah, you like that, Kenobi. So anyway, we get Kenobi and Bacta. We have sort of this back and forth between, you know, he and Anakin, both showing them sort of at a similar stage here of, you know, kind of regeneration. And I think that I just have it up. I was trying to throw on the good old subtitles here. Did we have? Oh yeah, we did have exposition as well, didn't we? So yeah, some various Vader breathing and stuff like that. The years have made you weak. You know, you are what you made me. That sort of thing. And I kind of wondered a little bit about this. Do you think it's like a thing where they're maybe like feeling each other through the Force a little bit?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say so. Kenobi clearly is not completely cut off from the Force anymore like he was prior, so it would make sense that they'd be able to sense each other, especially seeing as how they probably aren't that far away from each other yet. I do like the dichotomy of it. Like, obviously, Obi-Wan's going to heal much easier than Vader, you know, being still a light side user. Typically, they heal a little quicker through the Force. So I thought this whole scene was pretty well done. I thought was kind of cool. And it drives home his PTSD even more, even to where he like has a panic attack in the Bacta. Whether or not that was just from being in the confined space in the Bacta or sensing Vader is the only question.
Yeah, very true, and kind of an interesting thought, but I mean, I don't even know if he was lucid enough to understand that he was being put into Bacta either. So waking up in a liquid state would probably be like, oh, I'm drowning. The water. You know, that would be pretty shocking, like honestly.
If it has like a soothing effect on you as you're in it, like as it's healing you, or if it's just literally like water.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, but it kind of looked a bit more like a little bit more viscous water, maybe. Not really like thick water, but at least a little bit more viscous than water.
Yeah, they probably just didn't want to take the time to recreate Bacta, I'd imagine. Not that we have a ton of description of Bacta.
Yeah, I was about to say, do we? Do we have an accurate description of Bacta?
I don't think Star Wars wants to go down the rabbit hole of explaining its miracle water. So
it's just a tub full of aloe vera. It's fine.
You know, the sad thing is that's always what I've kind of pictured it as. Just a really thin aloe vera that you're soaked in.
Yeah, heck yeah. Well, anyway, as we move along, you know, Tala is here watching over him, and we're back. We're on Jabim, which is kind of like our little network hideout planet. And Kenobi wakes up, and then we shift focus to Leia, who is in captivity. She was not able to escape. She didn't escape, dude.
She did not run fast enough.
No.
She did not anime run enough.
Oh, my God. No, she didn't. It's funny you mentioned anime. I stumbled back upon, I think it's Death Battle. You ever watch those on YouTube?
Yeah.
So yeah. I watched the one.
Was it Spike TV or MTV that was on?
Oh, I don't know if that was actually no, not Celebrity Death Match. This is like
I'm sorry.
No, it's like animated YouTube series.
Yeah.
But anyway, they did. You were talking about anime. They did One Punch Man versus The Mask, like Jim Carrey's The Mask.
Really?
Yeah, The Mask won.
How?
Because he's cartoon. He's cartoon strength, basically. One Punch Man has a ceiling. The Mask is cartoon strength. So anyway, I didn't believe that one, but anyway. So just your anime One Punch Man, he didn't defeat the Mask in one punch. So there you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Maybe it would have taken two.
You big nerd.
You never know.
Freaking nerds. All right. Back in. So, shift focus pretty quick. We show Leia and then we come back to Jabim. I don't remember.
Totally not Saul Guerrero, even though I thought maybe it potentially was Saul Guerrero.
I mean, that would be neat. It's totally not, but it would be kind of cool if they did. I thought it was funny. He calls him General Kenobi, and
makes you wonder if they've crossed paths before.
Yeah, maybe. I think in a bigger scale, it's just the fact that Obi-Wan is just well known. Right. He's definitely like a well-known person here. And, as we look at it, it's just kind of like maybe a bit of a sign of respect, perhaps. And I would also say this guy clearly had some connection to the military to think of him as a general, though. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Not to mention also potentially, tied to the Jedi Order, because we kind of get a reference that his wife was force sensitive.
Yeah, which is little interesting, right?
Yeah.
We
actually get a character later on that you kind of, there's a few that you see. It's like, I wonder if this was the person he was talking about,
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what I feel about that, because it's clear that she was more than a force-sensitive person who just wasn't found. It seemed like she might have been like a Jedi, perhaps.
Which I don't get why he wouldn't just outright say that to Kenobi.
Yeah, and it's
In
tough
this setting.
because are they trying to set up that, you know, she was just a Force sensitive, but not actually a Jedi or something. But the thing that I kind of think about here is we are dealing with 10 years later, so we don't really know how long they were together. So it could have been a renegade Jedi, could have been an older Padawan who, you know, or whatever, or just I don't know. It's hard to tell. But I do remember something somewhere, and it was probably BS, mind you, about, you know, like one of the writers or something not knowing about some odd Vader connection, right? And it does kind of make you wonder a little bit about, like, are they storyboarding with people who know this story? Like, do we have story group in here kind of like pointing direction or whatever? Because I feel like that reference just seems a little bit off to me. It's super small, but it just feels a little off.
I had kind of wondered if they had set it up as a potential reference to Reva based on age and everything. It's like maybe, just maybe, she was married for like a year and then the Empire took her in and she just left or something like that. With how vague they made it, I don't know.
I don't
it
think
just seemed odd.
Yeah, I think he's a little older than that. I mean, the only other, I mean, potential. Who is our female Jedi in Fallen Order?
June.
She was also in the comics as well. Oh my God, I am so Siri Junda. I kind of thought about her a little bit there, maybe. I don't know. Ages are funny. But regardless, let's kind of move on here a little bit. Kenobi does sort of ask for help, and very quickly, quicker than you would think, the guy's like, "Okay, I'll help you.
Yeah.
I'll never help you again. Okay, I'll help. It's fine."
You're right. You do know what the Empire's like. I'll help you.
Yeah, we both know. We're brothers in arms here.
You know, my guy.
Yeah. Another interesting thing here, we do see Kenobi kind of trying to move something on the ground with the Force, and he's not
doing well.
Yeah, and that furthers our conversation from last week, where it seems like he very clearly did cut himself off from the Force. He hasn't been using it, so interesting stuff. But we do have a mission. That was actually in the descriptor. Kenobi's doing a mission. We're gonna go save Leia, and Tala's gonna pose as her, well, who she is. She is an Imperial officer, after all. And Kenobi's gonna sneaky snake his way into the tower in the water, and it'll be really cool, and totally nothing will go wrong, right?
Now it's just getting to the point where after Order 66, like, in his spare time, Kenobi like hanging around and sneaking around Imperial stations and ships.
He is a sneaky guy. Like, he is a sneaky dude. All right. You know, he's got to practice his sneaking for later on when he's sneaking around the Death Star.
I wonder if we'll get like a goofy little nod to the Grievous hello there, where he tries to get the jump on somebody, doesn't like land with the Force jump properly, and kind of hurts himself. He's like, I gotta stop doing that.
I think he'll start coming into his own a little bit here as he continues to use more of the Force, or, you know, connect with the Force again. But anyway, as we move along here, we do have Reva interrogating Leia, and you know, she's not really doing anything super convincing here. If we're being honest, she's kind of like trying to use certain things, like, hey, Kenobi's dead. He was burned alive. His friends didn't help him. The friends you're trying to protect, you know, you need to tell me. But, you know, little Leia here, you know, she constantly kind of is stealing herself away and, you know, being extremely brave for a little 10-year-old girl. And you know what? something people have to start remembering, that this is like a little tiny 10-year-old girl. Okay.
Right. Like as in the actor.
Well, I'm not even talking about that. I'm just talking about Leia. Like, as grown up as you think Leia was at all times, she's still a kid.
Yeah, I mean, even in A New Hope, she was pretty much a teenager still. She's always been ahead of her time.
Don't make anything creepy now.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, she deals with a lot at very young ages.
No, I know. But yeah, I mean, she's obviously very mature, but she's still 10. And I don't know. I don't know if the complaints about little Leia are like, you know, I don't really know. But the portrayal, I think, has been really, really great. So anyway, holding her own sort of with Reva here. I do like the little part where her little ladybug droid goes to try and like attack Reva. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, what you gonna get out your little saw and turn into a little murder droid? It's like Leia in her free time's like, I'm gonna teach you about murder. If somebody ever tries to interrogate me, you take that saw and you plant it inside of their cortex.
But this is for trimming branches. Cortex.
I want you to go for the medulla oblongata. That's a very old reference. Anyway, so while that's sort of going on, Tala is infiltrating the base, and
Kind of comically.
Well, it's
We just have a security guard. It's like, sorry, my job as Emperor security is to make sure that people are in the right spots, and you're not supposed to be here, even though you have clearance.
It is kind of funny when you think about it, though, like how feared officers can be, because I think she's only a lieutenant. But to think about it, like the hierarchy, this guy, he's a security guy. He's got what was it? Only 3 blue pieces on his uniform, whatever that means. And she's got 3 blue and a red, or whatever the heck, or 3 red and a blue. I don't know what those, I never actually looked into that. We need to look into that one day.
Yeah.
But he's clearly beneath her, but there's almost like a fear of what she could do, being that she is a superior. Like how crazy that is hierarchical, it's crazy.
Yeah. I just thought it was kind of comical, like he's doing his job, and then she just reminds him of what he just read, which is what her rank is. He's like, oh, you're right. I didn't think about that, even though I just read your rank. I should shut up now.
I didn't think about your rank as I was reading off your rank, your rank rod over here. Rank rod. Oh boy. So as she sits down, this was a little hokey to me. So she sits down at a station and she's like using her comm to speak to Kenobi while
like 4 feet away from somebody.
Yeah, people are literally around her. There's even a part where like one of the supervisors or whatever comes to like try and talk to her, and
We've had a complaint that you're talking too loud in the library, man.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if she kills him or just incapacitates him, but he's just like in the back. He's not even like hidden. Like anybody could just get up and be like, oh my God, there's a dead man back here. It's not very clandestine. I'm just saying.
No.
And then
we do get like the cutest little shark thing ever with his little goofy snail eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And we get a Phantom Menace-esque swim scene for just a second.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you had the breather and everything, and some underwater aquatic creatures.
Yeah.
Those are always fun. Oh yeah, by the way, Leia's getting the Force used on her to make her talk. So that's happening, and she's resisting that. So
do we understand, like we being Reva, like understand that she's Force sensitive at this point? Because this is my only problem with this interrogation. It's like she's resisting you as a Force user, and you're not even commenting on the fact. Just saying, like, you're strong. It's like, no, she's not strong. She's a prodigy in the Force.
Well, and this is something that, like, when Rey was being interrogated and everything, they pretty much instantly knew Rey was strong in the Force, right?
Right.
I don't personally think this whole Leia being captured and interrogated was the best idea, because she's obviously, and in canon, Force sensitive, and she's obviously, and in canon, used it and honed her skills with Luke in canon, not any like hokey book or something in the EU, or it's in canon. So the fact that Reva cannot feel the Force within her either means she is incredibly stupid, not terribly bright, or she might not be the bad person that we think she is, or they're just not good at producing plot, being the writers. So I don't know. I don't know which one is which, but it is that's not nitpicky. I actually think that might be a hole here that I'm not quite sure about.
This is actually the first hole I think that we found made from this show. Obviously we had already kind of talked about the Inquisitor thing, which ironically, one of the writers had to post comments finally about it. It's like, well, I haven't actually messed up any canon.
Yeah.
Like literally saying, I haven't killed him.
Yeah, I had forgotten about that. I wanted to bring that up too. So that still continues to be a debated thing. It's like, you do realize that just being stabbed doesn't mean you're dead, right? Maul was literally cut in half.
Cut in half. Yeah.
People survive.
Yeah. Anakin dealt with a lot worse than a stab wound.
Yeah, bruh. Yeah.
And again, you don't bleed out. It's instantly cauterized. So
yeah. So I mean that. I don't know. I think people just like to complain now. I almost kind of wish I do and I don't, but I almost think that it would be nice if we just
let the story unfold.
No, stop producing content for like a year. Just hard stop. Just so people understand what they're missing and what they're getting now isn't bad. They just need to stop being so hyper ridiculous about it all. Like,
right.
Folks accept all the BS in Marvel that runs counter to canon and so forth with just a smile and a nod, mainly because they didn't really read comics, and I can't claim to have either. But within Star Wars, man, boy, there are some people that would just complain every single day. And then if you even support it, you still might be critical of things, because I think we've been critical about certain things. We've been realistic about a lot of things. But even if you're even halfway or a quarter way or an eighth of a way supporting Disney right now, there are people out there that are like, well, you're not a real fan because you're just drinking Disney's Kool-Aid and you suck. And you don't understand, man. I've been in the game, since I was a child, You think that the rebellion's new? It's like, shut up, man.
Right. Well, it's like, and obviously it's clickbaity stuff, but like you see YouTube videos that do reviews on these, and the title's like, is this the best thing Star Wars has ever made or the worst?
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
It's
and
just
like apparently there's still a debate whether or not this is the Grand Inquisitor from Rebels.
Yes. Yeah.
Which just boggles my mind. It's like,
well, think about that though. There could be more of the same race that could ascend to Grand Inquisitor though. So that
very true. I mean, I'm not saying that's not possible, but like, clearly, I think based on the comments of the writer, I mean, the writer even said we all really appreciate what was done in Rebels, and we're fans. We would never want to break canon, or take that away.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, we probably should move on from that a little bit. That just got a little complainy, I would say. A little ranty. So we do have Kenobi kind of doing his best, spy routine, taking out a couple of stormtroopers that are, randomly guarding. We kind of got a Deep Blue Sea thing here, sort of, just that little hole in the floor with water, and we throw the stormtrooper in it. It would have been sweet if a giant shark came up there.
Right.
We are going to get through. Poor Sam Jackson. Oh boy, Deep Blue Sea. But yeah, we had, okay, so I think we said Leia resisting force interrogation.
Interrogation not really getting better throughout the scene, truthfully, from there.
Yeah, they could have written that a little better, if I'm being honest. It wasn't bad, but it just wasn't very interesting, I guess. Eventually, we moved to effectively a torture chamber as well that doesn't really get to be used, which I'm glad. I'm glad they didn't push that, to be honest. Because like there is a more of a sensitivity when you're dealing with children. And honestly, this is traumatic enough when you're in this, room and you have her strapped to this rack thing. It's pretty wild. But we do need to talk about the sort of amber room. I'm calling this the amber room.
Not the corpse hall like everyone else is.
No, not the corpse hall. It's the amber room. And I guess he does say that this is a tomb, so these are all presumably dead.
Right.
Maybe.
I have some ideas about it. But yeah, go ahead. I mean,
no. You're good. There's nothing much here. I mean, we have a couple here.
Tira Sanub.
Yep.
Or Sanube. I can't remember how you pronounce it, but
good question. Sanube, I think is
Sanube,
correct.
Yeah.
We have a youngling with their little helmet, their little Padawan helmets.
Yeah, that was kind of sad.
It was.
But it kind of brings up a lot of people are talking. It's like, well, are these just trophies? Did people kill them? It's like, well, I would argue that Padawan isn't dead, and not to be morbid, but like he's clearly not cut up by Anakin, so I would say he's potentially just in kind of a form of stasis. It's possible that these could be live Jedi.
Yeah, don't really know, but also, think about the theory where Reva might have been one of those Padawans from, the beginning. Like it was just maybe one of her little Padawan buddies she escaped with or something like that. Keeping them alive, kind of. But I mean, technically, this is also kind of like, I suppose, sort of hearkening to Rebels when we had Luminara in that whole trap, and clearly she was dead. I'm going to assume they're probably dead, and this is basically like the Inquisitor's trophy room.
Yeah.
Effectively,
now,
which
of course, there's also
gross.
potential of this being used for Palpatine's genetic experiments, cloning, things of that nature. Maybe potentially some genes are being spliced here to create Snoke and whatnot. There could be something with his actual cloning process as well. Hard to say.
Yeah, hard to say. Certainly could be. Could be. But, so sort of as we are strapping Leia in, we have Kenobi's like, you gotta create a distraction. So Tala, effectively summons Reva to expose herself as a spy, but for the Empire. I infiltrated their cell. They're on this planet. Are you lying to me? I think you're lying to me.
I love how she brings up the whole thing. It's like, I was told it cannot wait. Okay, this message is totally for me. I'm just kidding. This isn't higher up. This isn't from Vader.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you some stuff.
I actually kind of like this scene here. I think our actress who's playing Tala, and I'm sorry, I forgot her name. I just remember her as a sand.
It is Indira Varma.
There we go. I think she did a really good job here. I liked her little sass. And she's like, well, yeah, clearly I'm a spy.
Right.
It was just, it was good. Reva is Moses Ingram is just playing angry. You know, she's got effectively one emotion throughout most of this, and it's angry. We did get to see potentially a little bit of sadness though too earlier with Leia, where she's like, "Well, I've lost everything," too, trying to sort of
mentioning that she had a droid once as well, and it almost seemed like we were setting up for a potential connection between Leia and Reva, which I thought would have been kind of cool.
Yeah, we'll see. But anyway, so Tala's doing her thing, and then Obi-Wan comes in here, and
this is what I was referencing earlier.
Well, power goes out, and Kenobi takes out 2 guards, and
the fashion in which he does it is cool. It's just the effects for it.
It's the sparks.
Yeah,
isn't it?
He's not hitting. I mean, I guess yes, stormtrooper armor is made of metal. It's not fiberglass like we all build our little. That would be funny if it was.
Is it? Who knows?
But like, too many sparks, man. Too many sparks. The lightsaber is way too in your face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I call me a purist, but like, I'm okay with just lightsaber / tiny little glow flare, and there's a singe mark in you, and that's it. No, like, big spectacle, no show, no sparky. I'm good with simple, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like they had that all kind of perfected in, like, Revenge of the Sith. I don't get why they can't just keep going like that.
I'm kind of with you here. I mentioned the spark stuff. I mentioned that, well, in last week's episode when we had our Obi-Wan Vader fight. And Could you
imagine if there was that many sparks put into the Mustafar battle? How overwhelming that would be.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I actually was just kind of bringing up, the throne room fight with Rey and Kylo. And because that was actually a very cool fight scene, I think.
It was.
For 2 people who weren't crazy well versed in lightsaber combat, no offense, but like, it's not Revenge of the Sith. There were definitely some sparks going on in here, but there's so much more texture on the sabers, and when you see them cut into somebody, it just looks better. And it seemed like the majority of the blows from Kenobi were like almost like glancing blows, so to speak. And I don't know.
There was even one where like you can see the saber bouncing off of his chest.
Yes. Yeah.
And that was terrible. I hated that so much.
Yeah. If anything, I think you get your producers at the end, your folks in in IT or whatever. I'm trying to think of what the proper word would be. Your post-production people to go in here and add some just better textures. That's all I'm asking for. I don't need decapitations. I don't need blood. I don't need anything crazy, but like I need a better texture on these sabers. And I think we just need to get away from this idea of all this stupid sparking. Cause it just doesn't.
Oh my God. I'm watching the hallway fight right now, and like, we don't have sparking, but the glow is like obnoxious.
Yeah, and again, like I think that the hallway fighting was actually pretty good. I like the blocking, and like even as he's going along, he's like even getting better. Like he's becoming more in tune with it. So he's able to block things and redirect them at people as opposed to just into a wall. So
which we kind of have a janky, almost barbaric way of deflecting with this. He like, it's like literally hitting a baseball or something half the time when he deflects something. It's weird. I don't necessarily don't like it. I mean, I don't think it's bad, but it just kind of shows his rust, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't really have as big a problem with that because like there's even a couple like where he spins and kind of like gets one from behind. But that is kind of the thing. Like, I mean, you remember in Attack of the Clones where like we're in the arena and Mace Windu does that sort of like backhanded kind of SWAT thing. Yeah. Like, I think a lot of it is kind of that, but you can sort of feel where I think things are just heavier for Kenobi. Like everything's just heavier for him. He's just not all the way back.
He's
like
not
his
comfortable.
Yeah, his muscle memory is not there. And again, this is we talked about it last week, so I don't want to go too far into it. But the whole thing about like just instantly picking up a saber and just being proficient, that's actually something that I'm liking less about the sequels. Because we're being shown here where like Kenobi still has the skill to do what he's doing.
Yeah, he's actually defending himself from quite a few, especially compared to like barely being able to move something an hour before. Now he's deflecting all these blasts back proficiently.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what,
proficiently.
That first block of like whatever 7 or 8, if you were angry about Kenobi not being like OP Kenobi, there were Jedi during Order 66 that couldn't stand up.
Peak Jedi.
Yeah, that couldn't stand up against like 2 to 3 clone troopers. Kenobi's over here taking multiple blasts from multiple angles and just wrecking. We had the they're not quite Viper droids, but we have these security droids. We have stormtroopers. We have an officer at one point. So he is seeing everything around him, and he is, as proficiently as his body will allow him to do at this time of his life, taking out a hallway full of people.
Right. I always like to use like Ki-Adi-Mundi as the perfect example because I always thought he had the lamest death scene in Revenge of the Sith, just simply because there weren't that many clone troopers attacking him.
Yeah.
Like this iteration of Obi-Wan would have handled it so easily compared to him, and he is on the Council Jedi Master, so yeah, don't tell me he's weak.
Well, I'm like, it's like Yoda's like, I'll go deal with Palpatine. It's like, no. I'll deal with that. You just go like, you go hang out with Anakin, okay?
Right.
I'll deal with the Sith. I'll deal with the big boss.
Right.
I mean, honestly, I think that we need to carve out time to have a well thought out discussion about the true fall of the Jedi Order, not Order 66, but even before that. But I'll tell you what, I think that there were 2 Jedi, maybe even 3, that did not lose themselves towards the end. One of them, let me slightly retract and say not lose themselves, but didn't lose their ability. One of them who didn't lose his ability but lost himself was Mace Windu. Mm-hmm. Mace Windu absolutely never lost his ability, and I think that that's more because of his fighting form. Mm-hmm. The other one,
kind of hard to lose when you're just channeling.
Yeah,
the side that's essentially winning. Right
yeah,
now.
yeah. No doubt. The other one, Obi Wan Kenobi, 100%. Never lost himself, never lost his ability, up until the end of the Republic. I would also say, and we've heard the name, but you could also potentially even throw in like Quinlan Vos too.
Yeah,
I'm just going to throw that out there. I think he was a little bit more of a in the gray side of things.
Yeah, obviously he kind of had some bad moments as well, but yeah, he definitely was outstanding in that way. You could also say Ahsoka to an extent.
Oh, yes.
But that kind of goes without saying.
Yeah, that's 100% true. Yeah, for sure, Ahsoka. But even like Quinlan had to kind of lose himself and then find himself. Yeah. Anyway, we could do more about Quinlan. We should probably do that book.
The Asajj Ventress and Quinlan book.
Yeah, we'll talk about that at a later time. So let's continue with the episode because we're still in a hallway. One of the deflected blaster shots hits one of our windows. Kenobi is holding in the force of water with the Force.
Totally didn't realize that we were underwater up until this scene, though, by the way. I thought we were still above.
So the impressive thing about this is water's heavy.
It's OP. Again, it is OP.
Yeah, and like anybody who maybe like poo-poos this scene probably doesn't understand water.
Yeah.
You are underwater.
And the fact he is still fighting.
Yes.
Whilst holding back the water, he is deflecting shots from a death trooper.
Yeah, this is definitely on another kind of level because you have this full force of water, which does what it wants. Water is one of the natural elements that will do whatever the hell it wants to do. And all of that pressure, you're not just holding back a little bit. That's a lot of pressure. And I don't know how far they are underwater. Pressure goes up and everything.
But either way, that's a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Even like a foot underwater is still an extreme amount of weight.
Exactly.
Rushing in.
Well, that's why they say if you are in like a car accident, like there's water around you, technically you're supposed to wait to try and open the doors until effectively the water kind of hits an equilibrium point because of all the force on the doors. They did that on Mythbusters. Like if you can't break the window, wait for the thing to fill up a little bit and then go for the door so you have an easier time to push it out. You have that counterbalance of pressure.
Right.
Which is terribly scary, but it has actually saved people to know that or just
it's like essentially thinking to not react when a bear's on top of you kind of thing. It's like, we know it's a thing, but will we actually practice it in the moment?
So the moral of the story is always have a glass breaking tool in your car.
Yes.
And with a seatbelt cutter.
My wife has the combo deal. It's a flashlight cutter and the breaking tool. I really should have one as well.
You should. It's important. It's only not important until you need it. So anyway, back to the episode. So Kenobi's holding back the water. He eventually
does something even more amazing than holding it back. He redirects the entire ocean.
I was like, I got giddy about that because I was like, oh my God, he's going to redirect water. Like,
this is EU Luke.
Yeah.
This is freaking amazing stuff right here. Because, like, think about it. You're not just redirecting the water directly pushing at that glass. You're then redirecting all the water that is trying to fill that void.
Yeah.
And forcing it all. You're essentially creating, like, a pressure zone around the window and then just sloping it towards the other one, causing them to break. It's ridiculous.
It was so cool. I love that so much. That scene, I don't care if the episode sucked. Would have completely redeemed this entire thing for me just because it was so good.
Oh my God, that rain is getting bad.
It stopped raining here, so just hit the deck, man. It was actually pretty bad, like, maybe 10, 15 minutes ago. It was just pouring all over the place, like, oh crap, need to clean the gutters apparently. So anyway, let's get into, we're getting a lot of meta in this episode, a lot of real life stuff. It's like some of the people at home are like, I hope nobody's like, well, I wonder if they had a tornado. Well, we posted the episode, so it should be fine. If you never hear
that
this
only
episode,
means that you're okay.
Doesn't
mean I'm okay.
I'll have a little taps playing at the beginning. and he was swifted away. He rode the tornado.
He was just able to save his family and upload the video. He could not save himself.
He couldn't save himself. That's hilarious. Like, get out of here. Save yourself. I have to upload the episode.
The Wi-Fi just went down. I'm screwed now. No. There's no way I'm surviving.
All right. Come on. Let's get the last little bit out here. So we have the kind of silly coming back where...
Oh my God, I hated this.
It's just kind of funny because look,
it's funny.
I don't know how
one stormtrooper notices this.
Well, you have a dude with a giant trench coat with clearly other legs and a beard. Like none of these officers have beards. It's so odd. And
or
they even
long hair.
Yeah, they even passed 2 Inquisitors. They passed fifth brother and then like unnamed other sister, which I still don't. Maybe we should.
Seventh sister?
She's
I don't
she's
know.
a sister. But yeah, so we get this kind of kooky thing. It's like, we're almost free. Traitor.
But we do go from kooky to just freaking awesome with the snow speeders.
T-47s, dude. T-47s.
That snow speeders finally got some limelight here. They have been so underutilized in Star Wars.
It is my favorite ship in Star Wars.
They're just so awesome.
They're not good. They're not good. And to be honest, like I was kind of a little curious here. It's like, are we trying to say we put hyperdrive on air speeders? Right. No, they didn't. They had to dock later. But it's like, look, I love these ships. When I watched Empire, I don't know what it was about them. I just thought they were cool as hell. I kind of wish that one of them would have been able to use a grappling gun just like for some reason. I'm not going to lie. It just would have been cool. But we have two of these T-47s just, blasting away at the troopers. It was a great save moment. And God, they look so small. It's hilarious how small they look. Oh, at Celebration, somebody had one that they made, and I was like, I want to sit in it. It wasn't open for sitting in. It was so cool to get up close to one. Anyway,
speaking of sitting in them, are we just gonna brush over the fact that they're all fitting in the back of one?
My dude, look.
Come on, we all know how. Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank on his name. Luke's co-pilot.
No one cares. He's dead.
Very, very dead. But we all know that he took up that entire space.
Yeah, that's one of those lap on lap situations, you know. It's like, hey, Obi, is that a roll of quarters? You just happy to see me? It's like, what's quotas? I have a roll of credits in my pants. That's
my lightsaber.
That's my lightsaber. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. Celibate Jedi monk. Got it. No, so yeah, that's a little bit, whatever, suspend disbelief, but it is funny. And
I just feel like it's one of those moments like they had to sacrifice one of the two snow speeders, so it's like, oh, we just got to fit them all in one. It's got to happen. We got to destroy one. Which the destruction effects for that snow speeder were pretty good.
I would say so. Now, only one thing, and this is super duper nitpicky, so don't put much credence in it, but we had one of the speeders facing down Reva. She's deflecting all the bolts, and then we kind of have a bit of a pause, and then we change camera angles, and it looks like she's going for another deflection. Like it was just bad editing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like...
Well, it's almost like they had different ways that they decided to destroy the speeder, and one of them was potentially like...
Could be.
Deflecting a bolt back at the pilot or something, maybe?
Yeah. That's actually what I thought that they were going to do. But regardless, there's been a lot of criticism with Reva, and I think we've already talked about this. I think it's bunk. I don't think there's really any big deal with Reva. I think she could be interesting. I just hope they do more with her. But like, it's just those little things that give idiots ammunition when you have these kind of like lazy portrayals. It's like putting a Starbucks cup in Game of Thrones, like the biggest show going. You have this show that there is so many eyes on, and you do this herky-jerky kind of thing with a character that people aren't either all connecting to or just being relentlessly stupid towards. Do better editing, okay? Mm-hmm. And that's a theme. The sabers, the people. Like, do better editing. And we've talked about this before, too. Personally, like ILM, right? ILM, greatest in the world, so many years. Dude, Disney, Lucasfilms, whoever's doing this, behind the scenes, y'all at the end of these shows and movies need to get better.
Mm-hmm.
Like, y'all need to get better.
Yeah, kind of adding to that whole gripe, even like our scene following that with Vader, that choke scene was kind of weird.
Yeah.
I did not like she looks like she is laying on some kind of medical bed that's tilted up, and then they just CGI'd it out or something. Like, her legs are too rigid. They're bent outward. And it's not like one of those Vader's just got control of your entire body things.
It
It
is.
was just a really weird, rigid, awkward scene.
It kind of is. I mean, you can kind of downplay that a little bit, but yeah, she's sort of cocked back, knees are slightly bent. It does. It seems like a weird harnessing system. It's like you would think almost that like they would just be straight up and down type of deal. But anyway, yeah, I see. However, Reva put on a tracking device, and we're assuming it's on the little bot, which was like kind of, I don't know. That's kind of like, you really thought of that?
Honestly, personally, and it's kind of messed up. I hate to say it, but I feel like the direction they were going and the direction they probably should have gone was they implanted something in Leia as a tracker.
That's originally what I thought too. Yeah.
That's kind of what I got the vibe from that machine that she was strapped to. I don't know. I feel like that would have made more sense because, like, well, what if the droid, like, gets destroyed along the way or is lost or for some reason it's just not around? Obi-Wan isn't going to fall around the droid. Obi-Wan's falling around Leia.
Yeah, for sure.
And the droid's already been lost multiple times, so, like...
Well,
I don't know.
We'll see how it all goes. I will say this. I do like the aggressiveness of Vader. Yes. I do like instantly walking in the room, doing the choke, putting her down, but then reminding her as he steps like directly up to her.
Like probably stepped on her feet doing it.
It's like, are you certainly this is like going to happen? Like, you do realize that like you're like seconds away from me just, choking you. Like, again, right? Harder. Harder, Vader. Oh, what?
No, it's only fun if you don't like it. Stop ruining it.
Look, I want to transition to one thing here that was like, I don't know, dude. It was the sweetest, like, little heart pinchy moment here.
I know.
And if anybody gives us this particular scene crap, you can suck it. I don't care.
You're not a good person.
I don't care
You're
what
not a
you
good
think.
Star Wars fan or person.
Like, I'm going to just take a page out of like, that intolerant side of things. I don't care what you think in this, but when Leia puts her little tiny hand on Kenobi's bigger hand, it was like the cutest thing ever. It was super cute. She obviously trusts him. I know that there are people like, well, how could she know Ben? She didn't know anything about him. Like, New Hope, it breaks things. I don't think it does. It's just such a cute thing. I don't think that
does that at all. I think it is, personally, I think that I can't talk right now. It strengthens a couple of specific scenes. Specifically, help me, Obi Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
Yeah.
That's little Leia's hero. I mean, it makes sense now why she chooses to ask for his help.
Yeah.
And I think because of the behest of Bail.
Yep.
Because she knows she can count on him.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. The only thing that it kind of, I don't want to say it breaks, but it just kind of makes a little bit glaring is sort of like Obi-Wan's reaction, to seeing the message in A New Hope.
Yeah.
But with that being said, he does basically get up and go. So I think it's super nitpicky, but like I love the whole thing, when we were on Mole Man's little truck deal. I like their interactions. I'm glad that this has been really well done. The actress who's playing little Leia here has done an amazing job. But like I said, when that little hand came down, I was like, oh man, you gotta go and do all feelsy stuff here. Like it's the cutest thing in the world. It's like you think back to some, like your son, your daughter, a niece or nephew, a goddaughter, son, whatever, a baby, just putting their little hand on your hand. It's the cutest thing in the world. So, and it just makes you that much more protective.
And Ewan's reactions to it, I think, are really, really well done as well. And it really makes you wonder, like, I hope, I'm sure it won't happen, but I kind of hope that we just get some moment, like maybe in a comic or something, where this is fleshed out and there's an inner monologue where he's thinking about maybe his time with Anakin when he was younger, or thinking of Padme or something. I want to know what's going through his head in this moment, you know? Or if it's just strictly thinking about her, or is he thinking about Luke, or, you know, what's going on?
Well, and the other thing too is I kind of start to wonder if, because Luke knew who Ben was. Okay, he knew old Ben. And it kind of makes me wonder a little bit if maybe when he gets back to Tatooine, maybe he has a heart-to-heart with Owen. Maybe they're not as adversarial. I mean, maybe we end this series with like Obi-Wan bringing that little ship back to Luke, and like Owen's like, yeah, it's cool, you can have it.
Right. Well, I almost wonder if he even like tones it back with the whole training thing when talking to him, and just straight up says like, you knew how important his father was to me. Let me at least be a part of his life in some tiny way. Even if it isn't for training. Just let me interact with him somehow, please.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. It'll be interesting to see what they do here, but that basically ends our episode. We see little Lola, she's got a red eye, like, ooh, the tracker. But that's basically the end of our episode. So, any other little things we want to talk about before we rate it?
No, I don't think we've missed any little scenes or anything.
Cool. Well, rate it.
Yeah. So this is probably my most difficult one to rate because there are parts of this I absolutely loved, specifically near the end, and there are parts that kind of bugged me, like. Our torture scenes were kind of pathetic. We have some weird stuff going on with Reva not noticing that she's force sensitive, which I think is just kind of stupid or an oversight, a huge oversight. We have some effect issues both with Reva's combat and Obi-Wan's combat. So like when you stop being immersed in the show and you start picking out the details, there are it's got rough edges. They definitely need to clean up the edges a bit. But, like, we have so many cool moments. The acting, for the most part, is really good. We get a little bit of espionage. We get a little, sneaking around the base, kind of reminiscent of A New Hope in a way. We get some really amazing feats of force power from Obi-Wan, which just kind of bring you back to being a kid reading about all the amazing things that Luke did, which was awesome. And we get some really heartfelt moments with Leia. So it's a good episode. It's just some of the cracks are starting to really show. And I don't necessarily think it was just this episode. I think I'm just now becoming a bit less tolerant of it because it keeps persisting, which kind of bothers me. But overall, it's still a really good episode, and I don't want to be too harsh on it, and I know other people will take care of that for me, so I'm going to rate this at an 8.3. Not necessarily the best ever, but there were some really good redeeming moments in the episode, so yeah, very good overall.
Yeah, so I would say I enjoyed the episode quite a bit. I think overall there's definitely a lot of good here, but you're right. There were a couple of things that were, felt a little janky. We need to smooth things out. Like, we shouldn't progressively be having these smoothing problems. It's like, look, if you needed more time to complete the darn series, to make sure it's perfect, like, do it. If you're having this much trouble keeping deadlines, maybe you have the wrong people involved. And that's not a jab at anybody working on it, but I'm just saying, like, there are clear indications here of things that are like, just not particularly polished. And we need that polish, man. I mean, this is supposed to be Star Wars. This is supposed to be one of your big budget IPs. polish it. Stop sending out stuff that doesn't look spectacular. And I don't care if it's TV or anything like that. Like, I don't think we ever had that sort of thought in Mandalorian, aside from the fact that there was a lot of walking scenes in like season 1. Yeah. Mando got his steps in.
Oh yeah.
But even Boba Fett, with the sort of exception, I think a lot of people will say with the Vespa chase, because that was pretty bad. You could say a lot of the rest of the stuff wasn't bad at all. But like, you have a show with a lightsaber. It's one of the most important things in Star Wars for people as a prop. Do it better, please.
Pretty well perfected at this point too.
Yeah. And we've seen it done super well. Do it better. You need to do it better. And I think it needs more aura. It needs more glow. Like an actual aura about it. Just edit better. That's all I'm asking. But the story was nice. It's great to see the T-47s. It's great to see Obi-Wan engaging in some combat using Force, really bringing into, sort of fruition some of his actual abilities and showing that he can still get back into it. The little cute stuff with Leia and, sort of her resistance as well. A lot of this is going to build her character. Vader being actually scary Vader is nice as well. Because you also got to think about it. We've got a few more years until, New Hope time when Leia's kind of grown up and, Vader, you're part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor. Take her away. So we've got still a lot of stuff to iron out with Vader even, just in, from the time, this time until then. So, and then until his eventual turn. But, yeah, I still think it was really good. It needs that polish. What did IMDb have? That was something I was going to take a peeky peek at. Why do you act like this? Okay, so currently IMDb has Part 4 at a 6.7.
Oh my.
6.7. Wow. Produced for children. That's Star Wars. Feels like watching a kid's attraction of Star Wars at Disney World. Okay. Created by Disney's corporate 3D printer. 36 minutes. Again, cheap. Well, okay. Sounds like a little bit salty there. 30 minutes and 20 seconds of mostly awful content. Call me sir. I'm not a ma'am.
I was wondering if someone would get hurt about that.
Yeah. It took 20 years to come up with this. Give me one day and I could do better. All right, loves Askelin. Okay, well, you do better. I don't know. I don't think Oh, here's one when Kathleen Kennedy gets involved. Zero, is that you? Wow, yeah, a lot of recent bashing here. Lot of bashing. This is sad. I don't know. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it was a bad episode. I don't think it was like great, but I don't think it was bad. So, you said 8-3?
Yeah. Yep.
We should probably keep track of all these. I constantly say that and I never do it.
I'm pretty sure that's my lowest.
I am going to say 8-2. I'm going to go 8-2 on it. Still a really good episode overall. You know what? I'm going to go down one more straight. I'm going to go 8-1. It needs polish. I still enjoy the story. I still enjoy kind of what they're doing here. Know what? We need to go down. 8.05.
I guess I could knock 0.1.
Final answer. 8.05.
I guess I could knock it down.
I
like
just really enjoy.
just
I can't put it in the sevens. 8.05. My final offer. Sharks. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Okay. Anything else we need to talk about?
I was just gonna say. I guess I could drop it down like to 8-2 myself. Just thinking of the. I guess I could just Sorry, I didn't realize I was muted there.
No, you're
You
good.
got to hear me quite a few times, guys, but he didn't. I guess I could drop it down a few more points just because of that one stormtrooper who got batted by the lightsaber and it just bounced off of him.
Oh, my.
If I ignore that, it's 8-3. If I don't, it's 8-2.
Okay. Well, 8.05, we'll give you the 8.2 just because you know you want to. All right. Anything else we need to chat about?
No, that'll be all.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and get on out of here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, make sure to, do listen to more. Continue to listen.
If you like it more by listening to more likable
Hit
things.
Hit that follow button. Link in bio. 2012.
100 years, like for 100 years.
Oh, God.
100 years of liking.
Well, if you do want to interact, follow us on the social media, Facebook, Twitter at TC Plan Podcast, or just send us an email if you want to, get out your pin-up frustrations. Just tcplanpodcast@gmail.com. Love to hear from you. But yeah, I think that's about it. So y'all have a great rest of your week.
And as always, may the Force be with you.